Hello, ladies. I hope you're doing good today. It's May and it's the month when flowers start going crazy. And I'm going to talk about a few things today. First of all, as usual, I'm gonna go real quick through what's going on in my life. I'm trying to catch up on stuff, so nothing new there. I had a scare last evening because I think it was around 9 o'clock when I started smelling. Hi, Mona. I started smelling like steam. And I'm like, where the heck is this coming from? So I went around the house sniffing, and then I realized it was coming from the air vents. And I put my hair, and I didn't feel cold, so I was like, oh my god, my AC is going bad. So I turned it off. What happens, it did this like 5 years ago. It started blowing warm air, and what had happened, where's that thing that removes the water? And there's a little tray, because we are in Oklahoma and it's hot and humid. It had gotten algae, so the AC guy had to go up in the attic and clean that. Hi, Carrie. Yay, from Australia. Then clean that and put some bleach and all that. And I was like, oh, bummer, this is what's going on. Unfortunately, last night, yesterday the highs were like 82. So I had to wait. It was already like 75 inside. I didn't turn on my AC again. And I waited for it to get cooler outside so I could open the windows and stuff. And it didn't get cooler until midnight. In the meantime, in the house, it had gotten up to 77, and I was like... And so I didn't go to bed until around 2 o'clock when it got cool enough. Now, this morning, I wake up, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna try again. Hi, Francis. And I turned on the AC, and it was working fine. So I have no idea what I did last evening. What happened last evening, I think that it might not have been warm air. I just was, because sometimes I have issues perceiving temperature. But anyway, so today I'm a little bit zombified. I am finally finishing a video tutorial. So I'm not promising if it's gonna be this afternoon, if it's gonna be tomorrow, where it's gonna be, but I'm finally managed to sit here long enough so I could do a video. I hope you will like it, and I'm not giving you any kind of spoilers, but there's still a whole bunch of stuff to work in the garden, and now with the heat coming up, it's going to be turned around a little bit. That is, I'm going to go outside early in the morning and then come inside, rest, and then work on clay and other housekeeping stuff. And I did have an appointment with my oncologist regarding those painful stitches I get on the sides. And he said, well, a lot of things can cause this, but just to make sure, because the cancer that you had likes to go for the ribs, just to make sure that those muscles don't contract and hurt because of something being on the ribs where they attach, let's go ahead and do a PET scan. And if everything is okay with a PET scan, then we'll go ahead and do an MRI and we'll focus on other things. So I'm having a PET scan on the 6th or the 7th of June. 6th or the 7th. I slept in between, so I forgot. But yeah, there is that. And it's a hurry up and wait thing, so we'll see how things go. I've been doing beads and all kinds of pendants and earrings with all kinds of stuff that I've had left over from all kinds of lives. And I'm moving much slower, way much slower than before. I'm still fighting with the weight gain. But at least, excuse me, out of everything, I do not have the kind of fatigue that I used to have before they started me on thyroid medication. So that's a good thing. And anyway, so the other thing, so we'll put that aside. We went through this subject. And the next things that I wanted to talk to you about are, one of them is the whole gardening thing, because I'm getting messages and questions and stuff, and especially it was about, most of them are about, well, of course, all kinds of plants, but those I cannot talk generally about because it all depends on the zone you live in. So depending on the zone, various plants have various preferences of living or not living in certain temperatures. But the other thing was, and it's repeated because I've been saying, I've had, I won't be able to get back to that, obviously. But I used to have this organic cottage garden in my backyard, and I was keeping it practically organic, right? No pesticides, no herbicides, no nothing, pretty much. So give me just a second so I can show you a few images. We're gonna go real quick through this. Most of my stuff I am getting from, oops, not this, sorry, this. Most of the stuff that I've had in my garden is from a company called Direct Gardening online. They sell bare root. This is, for example, is a spirea, a bush. Sage, roses. I'm just going quick through them. And you will find a lot of bad reviews about them online, and what I can tell you, if you look and you read those reviews, you will notice that the main reason those are so bad is because people do not understand the concept of bare roots, and they expect that they would pay $3 or $4 on a tree, and they get very disappointed when they get a stick, you know, with some little roots on one end. Same for roses and other stuff. But I can tell you that out of everything that I've got from them, I had like a 90% survival rate of my plants, and whatever didn't come out or was wrong, or sometimes you might get some stuff wrong. With me it happened with 2 roses. They were a different kind than what I ordered. This is Pisa. But they replace it. You just have to keep your the label that comes with your thing. Let's go farther down the. This doesn't have so many. Hold on, let me get back to. Let's go back to 2014, maybe 2015. And that's no, That was 2015. 2014. Starting 2015, I started moving stuff from the backyard to the front. And here you kind of start seeing how it was. So I didn't have to work so hard on the backyard anymore. And I only kept perennials. These are sweet peas. And so I didn't really have a cottage garden anymore in the backyard. But what I can tell you, so my main supplier was Direct Gardening. That's my whisper. And then I would get seeds, whatever seeds I had, I would get them from Baker's Creek. And I had some really wonderful stuff from them, including, I'm trying to get farther down so you can see more of it. So this is pretty much how it would look in July. And then I would get a lot. So I had fruits, vegetables, flowers, and herbs in the backyard. This pergola I would grow cucumbers on, and also I would mix some morning glories in there. And I had a flower bed. I mean, a literal flower bed. Somebody left to the curb this iron child's bed, and I made it into a flower bed. So these are indigo tomatoes that were black. But to get back to how to maintain it organic, okay, I would get my stuff from, there's a company called Arbico Organics, and I got from them pretty much in the first 3 years. I bought from them praying mantises, you know, like the little nest thingies. And you have to be very careful with those and kind of watch them, because when they hatch, you need to be in there and move them. And they are tiny, 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 but they are pretty much they look like minuscule praying mantises. There's no difference between the way they look when they are freshly hatched and when they are grown. Because if you don't start moving them away from the nest, they eat each other. So out of 200 or 300, you're left with 2 or 3. And I was pretty good, because generally they emerge after you had at least 2 days, after you had 2 days of temperatures over 82 or 83 degrees. But after 3 years, I didn't have to buy anymore, because they got themselves established there. And I got 2 kinds. I got the grays, the greens, and I got the gray, brownish, beigeish ones. The other thing I got from them were nematodes. They are beneficial nematodes, which just, put in water and pour on the ground, and they go and fertilize the ground. And I got those parasitic things that just infest all kinds of caterpillars. And then I went down to I'm wearing Finnegan. I went down to the lake close to me, and I caught some assassin bugs. So the whole predators thing and pests was pretty taken care of. And I had to be very careful, because for years I had planted dill and parsley for the swallowtail butterflies, because they eat just the flowers. they have a thing, they eat just the flowers, the caterpillars, and they are very pretty. And in this area we have the black swallowtail that is gorgeous. So I had to be careful and kind of guard those pots, because those I would plant in big pots, so the caterpillars wouldn't get killed. But yeah, and then for weeds, it was plain. I would use a lot of cardboard from boxes and then cover whatever was to be covered with pine mulch, because that kind of stops the weeds from growing. So theoretically it's not hard. You would have to start your seeds for vegetables and stuff if you don't want to pay. I would personally, I was just buying the seeds from Baker's Creek, and I had some gorgeous heirloom, unusual stuff. Like I had those cherry indigos that I showed you, they were beautiful. And then I had a sun gold that was, I had several cherry tomatoes that were growing those vines so long that they were like 10-12 feet, that I had to stake them like a vine thing. So yeah, all kinds of stuff. And then lemon cucumbers that are gorgeous. They don't smell or taste like lemon, only that they are yellow and round when they get good to eat. And they are not good for pickling. They are awesome in salads though. So I would just get, I had those little trays, and I would get the little pills of peat, and I would start my seeds indoors end of February, and then I would put them outdoors only after they had 3 or 4 real leaves, not the ones that they first start with. And I know that I had at one point, I had a friend was making fun of me because I would put popsicle sticks. Let me actually see if I can find that. Because all of them, they look the same when they sprout first, so it's kind of hard to figure out what's what, right? And I found them. And one year I ran out of popsicle sticks, so the thing that I had handy were plastic spoons. So that's what I used to identify. Yeah, I also had these that were easier to. This was my first 2 years of trial. This is 2013. And a friend of mine was making fun of me. She was like, "So what are you going to harvest, ladles?" Oops, no, this is supposed to be. Did I turn off my face when I was showing you that? Let me make sure I didn't mess up. Okay, so these are the spoons. All right. So, yeah. And then I would just transplant them outside. So the main thing that I had issues with, and it took me a couple years to figure out what was the best, was the watering thing, because we can get through pretty high temperatures and lack of rain here in Oklahoma. So the thing that I found that finally worked for me, because I tried all kinds of stuff, including depends in the ground and all kinds of things. But what I found that really worked for me were soaking hoses. It is a little bit of an investment, but it's going to save you on water and on the quality of your plants. So, and when I say a little bit of an investment, it was, but that was back in 2014, it was about $100, maybe $110, but that was with soaking hoses for the front and the back and the little timers on them. And the soaking hoses are calibrated so they would not go over a certain amount of gallons of water per hour. So that is a really good thing to think of. Okay, then number three of what I wanted to talk to you about. I've been getting more and more messages and emails and stuff from a lot of ladies who are worried because they feel like they are burned up. And I'm talking both just plain crafters and crafters and artists with a YouTube channel or a website or whatever. Because, and it is normal, don't think that you are in any way strange or that you might be suffering from depression. Well, you might be, but I'm not your doctor to tell you that. But it's not necessarily a sign of depression. The thing is that the burnout was a problem well before the pandemic, but since the pandemic started, it had kind of skyrocketed. And I am, and I've been suffering of that quite a bit. And is it hard to get out of the funk? Yes. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's very hard. What you want to do, number one, do not force yourself to continue doing it, because the more you force yourself, the less you're going to feel like doing it. Try to shift your interest towards something else for a while until you get you either get attracted again to what you're doing before, or you just found a new interest and you pursue that one, you know. The thing is that a lot of people feel like they are obligated to continue, because they would be like, yeah, but I've been doing this for so many years and I invested so much and I invested, so I feel like I need to continue with this. Let me put it this way. Yes, you did. And yes, you invested. But it's like a marriage that doesn't work out, you know. If you struggle to stay in that marriage, no matter that, no amount of marriage counseling is going to help you. At one point, you need to say, okay, enough is enough. I'm putting a stop to this and I'm moving on. And moving on doesn't deny or annul in any way what you did before, but will bring more joy in your life if you found something that is actually you like to do at that time. And yeah, but people are going to look at me like a jack of all trades, master of none. You don't live for people, you live to feel yourself good in your life. So do whatever makes you happy. And then there's another thing. Sometimes it's a good thing to just take a break, and the real break, just be lazy, do nothing else but watch TV or go out window shopping or go to a park or do whatever brings you happiness without thinking that, oh no, this is, because there's this self-guilt trip that we put upon us. Oh no, I shouldn't be doing this, I should instead be doing. No, you shouldn't instead be doing anything. I know that sometimes it can be hard because on a lot of us who have started an online business to bring a little bit more money, this is a little bit more money that we all need. but try to gently, you know, go transition from one thing to the next. Try to find for your online business, if you are if you depend on ads, or if you don't depend on ads, that's a different thing. If you don't depend on ads, then switch to ads. Make sure that you have on your channel or on your website some of those things that never die. The interest in them will always be there. And slowly start transitioning to whatever you like to do now, and build it from there, because the way that you built something 5 years, 10 years ago, you'll be able to build something again. And the most important thing is whatever makes you happy. And if you just cannot do it anymore and don't feel like doing it anymore, just don't do it. If it's all, just psychological. Of course, there are the times when you cannot do it anymore because of health issues, and that's a different thing. But even when it is with health issues, do not do the self-guilt trip, because something has to give, and it's for you to decide if what's going to be affected is the business you built or you. Which of them do you want to survive? I know it might sound callous, but that is the main thing. The most important thing in your life, that is something that you always have to remember. The most important thing in your life is you. Most of the stuff, actually all the stuff that you have control on, can be fixed. You can fix it. If you don't take care of you, you cannot be fixed, because you cannot always depend on others. And the way that I see society going, there will be less and less help, heart-to-heart type of help, and even medical help. Everybody is getting burned out, and it seems like the ethical values are changing and degrading every day. So don't expect on other people to take care of your mental well-being. Depend on yourself. If you have animals, dote on them. If you have a garden, don't dote on that. If you don't like polymer clay anymore, start knitting, start embroidering, start felting, start painting, start whatever you like. And it is very, very important, because even if you made so much money, probably not a ton of money, because us artists and crafters don't make a ton of money, so much money a month, then you won't be making so much money a month. Just put and calculate on a piece of paper practically, because whenever you make stuff for a business online, you're gonna have expenses. And a lot of times, let's say that you make $500 a month, but when you go and you look at your expenses, you find out that you actually make $300 a month, because $200 is in expenses, right? But if you switch to ads and you manage to keep on your stuff that never dies, you'll find out that you still make $300 a month, but without having to worry about expenses. So it's not that bad. The transition is not that bad. The thing is that if you have the other thing is, if you have health issues, the hardest thing to do is to accept that things will never get better. And it's not necessarily because of diseases and stuff, and it's mostly, let me put it this way, when you age, it's hard to accept the fact that you aged and your body doesn't work that good anymore, and you're going to be more tired, and you're going to have aches and pains, and you're going to have, and no, those are never going to get better. So I know that it's very hard to come to grips with that reality and accept it, because not everybody, there's a lot of people who don't really mind aging. They are still as happy as a June bug, but aging that comes with pains and aches, that's harder to take. And that's what I'm saying. If you go through hard times due to your health, it's worth more for you to find joy and happiness in what you like to do, even if what you like to do is nothing, just sit on a couch and watch TV. Because we only have a finite amount of time on Earth. And honestly, nothing really matters unless you are some kind of exceptional historical figure. Nobody will care, not 100 years from now, but 20 years from now. So the most important thing is to enjoy whatever time you have. And I'm not talking go gambling and go get drunk. No, enjoy the simple things in life. I noticed something as I aged. I was always a gourmet all my life. I liked delicate or more prepared stuff, real cuisine and things like that. It doesn't mean I don't like it now, but I noticed as I aged, I like simpler things. It's like, I don't know how to say it, to a very elaborate dinner, I prefer just, a salad with tomatoes and green onions and feta cheese and a slice of peasant bread. I'm fine with that. I actually enjoy it more. It's not because I do still cook from time to time. I do still do certain things, but I noticed I'm not as attracted. So go to the simpler things that you enjoy. Nobody really cares, and you don't live your life for other people. Do whatever you like and whatever makes you happy. You burn out on something, transition, find something else that you like. Be it a productive thing or not a productive thing. I know that some of us have to try because of financial issues. But again, what I'm trying to say, if you have problems holding on and going on doing what you've been doing, it's going to be harder to do it than if you move on and you find something else that you like. And of course, you have to have to be very honest in your expectations, because like anything else, don't expect to make things that you like and expect for everybody else to like it too and be successful in doing it. What you have to do is see what other people like And it's always, you can always try on Google, you can do Google searches, um, and kind of veer a little bit towards that while you're still doing what you like to do. It's a very, very simple thing. If you, let's say, let me give you an example. Let's go on YouTube and let me switch this. So if I start with polymer clay tutorial, and it's going to give me some results. I don't know if you know how to search well or not, but let's go to see what happened. That's not necessarily this month, but let's go this year. And then go on a second. Let's go by view count. There's going to be first all kinds of sculptures and the 5-minute crafts and stuff. But then you can see what people are looking for, right? So let's go knitting tutorial. And again, this time let's go for this month. And again, view count. What people are looking for. So try to get into that. Or paper crafts. Quilling is awesome. I tried a little bit, and there are some beautiful things out there that you can make. So going past all the 5 minutes things, but you can find gift cards. Actually, let me search, not shorts. Shorts are given more. I don't know why YouTube is pushing this, but you can see all kinds of things. And but this is pretty much how you go for what is the most sought after by people. And if you go for if you go, let's go again. So this month, 4 to 20 minutes, and view count. See what people are looking for. And never feel, how can I say it? Never feel worried that, hi Carlene, that, oh my God, I'm just learning how to do this, and how can I start a YouTube channel with tutorials about that? Why not? Start it from the point of view of somebody who just started, and because people love to watch other people grow, even if they don't do anything themselves, A lot of the views on craft channels and art channels, more than 50%, I mean, that's about like 80% of the views are from people who just like to watch, not from people who want to do it themselves. Hi Lane. So don't worry about that. And so this whole thing is something that you can look into doing yourself, or you can actually start making a business, because there's all kinds of stuff that you can and everybody who started 5 years ago, 10 years ago, most of them were beginners. So they shared with others their issues. So just find something to do that you like to do, and you can transition. Nobody keeps you shackled to something just because of guilt. Yeah, you put in a lot of money, you invested a lot of money in materials and stuff. If you find something else that works for you, you can always sell those. Artists and crafters love to buy stuff from each other, you know? And you can sell those, or you can swap. There's a lot of swapping going on in the crafting and art world. So don't get all stop yourself from doing that. Burnout is real. Don't feel ashamed if it happens to you. It is very hard to get out of it. Generally, 80% of people cannot do it. And especially with the fast-paced times we're living in, it's hard to keep up, and we are not, most of us, especially the people who are by my segment of population, that is the people who watch my channel and follow my channel, we are not youngsters. We don't go for fast stuff that's always in fashion and be able to start racking thousands and thousands of views so that we can hire a team. And what we are doing is very personal. We cannot hire people to, even if we get very successful, we cannot really hire people to edit our videos, because to edit our videos, you must know how the whole thing works and what needs to be shown and what not, So again, don't feel bad if you don't, because a lot of I got messages from a few ladies that are like, I don't feel like doing polymer clay anymore. It feels like a chore. Instead, I used to love doing it, and now it feels like a chore. But I put so much money in materials, and I managed to get my clientele on Etsy, or I managed to get my clientele on some people who support me on Patreon or stuff like that. You can start again, slowly, just, kind of, you have a balance, you have all this kind of stuff you do in polymer clay, and you can start doing this with the other stuff that you find that you like. Or if you liked something else and you want to start doing polymer clay. But again, it's all about you. This is what you have to keep in mind. Your life, it's about you, okay? And what you like to do and what makes you happy. Whatever you have control over in your life, make sure you keep the control. Nobody else matters, okay? Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. We're gonna do some flowers because it's May, it's the day of flowers. I'm not sure yet what, because we did the pennies, we did all kinds of stuff, but I'll figure out what we are going to do. Don't worry, and I'm sure you will love it. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. It's Saturday morning. Here we are not supposed to have thunderstorms until later today. And tomorrow we are supposed to have some thunderstorms later in the afternoon, but it's May in Oklahoma, so you never know. Okay, I hope to see you all tomorrow when we'll play with flowers. I love making flowers. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.